Chandani Views welcomes you all for the online class. Hi children, today we are going to learn an interesting topic. Class 4. Subject Science. Lesson number 3. Animal Life. Topic: Animals, Habitats and Adaptations. Hi children, how are you? Hope you are all fine with your good health. Do you know my name? My name is Colorful Sparrow. I will be in the forest. Rarely you can see me in your place where you live. Once upon a time, I was migrated to some region. The region name is Chennai. I was too tired. I sat in the branch of Chandni Views. Have you seen me, children? Okay, no problem. Today I came here to say about animals, habitats and adaptations. But I don't know more about the animals since I am a bird. So I need a help from the another person. I am going to call a friend to say about animals, habitats and adaptations. Are you ready to see my friend? Okay, come. Let's see my friend. For that, I need to fly to my friend area. He lives in this area in the forest. Here comes my friend. Hi Sparrow, how are you? I'm fine. What about you? I'm fine. Say hi to all my friends who were all seeing us in the class. Hi children, hope you are all fine. My name is Ram. I'm in the forest more than a decade. Ram, will you tell us about the animals, habitat and adaptation? Sure, let me tell. Are you ready to hear? Let's go to the class now. Introduction. In this lesson, we are going to see all about the animals' habitats, the animals' food, the arboreal animals, the aquatic animals, the adaptation of food, the parasite, the skin of the animals, the color protection, the hibernation or in detail. Animal. Animals live in all parts of the world, in cold region, in hot desert, high up in mountain, even in the water. The bodies of animals are suited to the surroundings in which they live. Yes, so animals are living in various parts of the world. So the world contains various places with variety of climates like cold region, desert region, hot region, mountain areas, plain areas and water regions. So the animals can live in all these kind of climatic conditions. For that, its skin will support the animals to adapt their lifestyle according to the climate conditions they live. So that is about adaptation and we are going to see it in detail in this lesson. Habitats of animals. Animals can be grouped according to the environment in which they live. The home or natural environment of a living thing is called its habitat. Animals can be grouped according to their habitat. So, we human beings are living in a group. For example, in India itself, there are various states. So, each state is grouped together. For example, in Tamil Nadu, all the Tamil peoples will be gathered together. In Karnataka side, all the Canadians will be gathered together. So likewise, in animals also there will be a group in the environment. For example, lion will be living under a lion's group. Tiger will be living under a tiger's group. Likewise, there will be communicating and they will live close with their own groups that they belong to. So the environment that where the animals is living is known as a habitat. Terrestrial animals. Animals that live on land, on the surface of the ground, or in burrows below the surface of the ground are called terrestrial animals. Common examples are lions, cows, rabbits, camels, snakes, etc. Okay, terrestrial animal is nothing but it used to live on the land. So it will be living on the land areas. The animals that lives on the land areas are known as terrestrial animals. So they will be living above the ground level. That is, above the ground level is land and below the sky level. So the in between gap between the ground and the sky is referred to the land place. Okay, so the animals that live in this particular region is known as terrestrial animals. So the video shows the clear example of the terrestrial animals. Who are they? Lion, cow, goat, rabbit, camel, snakes, etc. These are the animals that used to live in the land area. So the animals that lives on land area is terrestrial animals. Arboreal animals. Arboreal animals are those animals that spend most of their life on trees. They feed, travel, play and sleep on trees. They prefer to grow their young ones on the trees. So arboreal is nothing but the animals that used to live on the trees. They also live on land, but most of the time they will be in the trees. So they used to live in a trees and they will also have their food in the tree itself. For playing also they used to play in the tree. They will jump from one tree to another tree. For sleeping also they used to sleep on the branches of the trees. The land animals, in terrestrial animals, they used to stay on the land area. Likewise, the arboreal, they used to stay on the trees and branches. They eat the leaves and they sleep there itself. They used to play there itself. Their young ones also, they used to grow in the tree. So the animals which are able to live on tree is known as arboreal animals. Arboreal animals. A difficult task because the newborns are always prone to fall on the ground from height. So see this picture. So only the practice makes a man perfect. Likewise, the animals, they have to grow and they have to practice their habitat. So at the starting stage for the newborn, that is the young one, they can't able to move from one tree to another tree. They don't know how to jump, they don't know how to climb, so they used to fall oftenly. But when they become ages and they become started growing and when they are becoming old, they can easily adapt to that situation that is shown in the picture. Due to unawareness, it is pulling down itself. However, they have adapted themselves in such a manner that these animals can now easily live on such heights. This I have told you before, that at the initial stage it will be difficult for them, but when the day is gone, it will be easy for them to live on the trees. Arboreal animals. Arboreal animals spend most of their time on trees. They have powerful arms and legs, so they have to climb the trees and they have to migrate from one tree to another tree in search of food and for shelter. So for that, climbing a tree they should have a strong arms and legs. That's why the arboreal animals arms and legs are very powerful. Spins or planes on their bodies help them to prevent from slipping. So they have the spins on their back. That is, we are having a backbone to stand and sit erect. Likewise, they also have a spins or plates. It will be in a strong erect position. So it helps them to prevent from slipping. So as much as it is strong, it will won't slip. Common examples are monkey, squirrels, apes, opossum, lizards, etc. So these are the animals that are always used to live on the trees. So that's the animals that I have shown in the picture. Okay, children? Aerial animals. Animals which live on tree are called arboreal animals, while animals which fly are called aerial animals. See, this aerial they used to live on the trees, but they can able to fly. That is, aerial animals lives on a tree, but also they lives on the air. That is, they can able to fly. So they will be flying from place to place in search of food and shelter. But arboreal animals, they only lives in the tree. They only know to climb. They don't know how to fly. So the animals that lives on the tree and can able to fly is known as aerial animals. Most birds can fly, and so even though they live on trees like arboreal animals, they are aerial animals. Yes, they live on the tree. They also used to eat and take shelter on the trees. But they can move from one place to another place by flying. That's why they are known as aerial animals. Aerial animals live mostly in the air. Why it's living in the air? Yes, because it is moving in a flying posture. It uses its wings to fly and it moves. So while flying, where will you be? You will be in the air. So aerial animals mostly lives in the air. They have wings to fly. So usually the animals have legs and hands. Here the aerial animals, they are birds, so they need to fly. For that reason they will have their wings and legs. See this picture. Instead of hands, they have wings for flying in the air. Their bodies are light because of light hollow bones and feathers. So there will be a feathers in the wings. It will be like the protective layer for them. How it will be? It will be in the very light manner. So it helps them to fly easily in the air. They have streamlined body to float in air easily. Streamlined is nothing but it will be in the straight and V shaped. There will be a wings in V shape and the body structure will be in a straight line, because it will be easy for them while they carrying their own body when they fly. Birds, bats and some insects are examples of aerial animals. Aquatic animals. An aquatic animal is an animal that lives most of its life in water. So the animals which used to live on the water, inside the water, that is, they live on ponds, ocean, seas, riverside. These animals are known as aquatic animals. Sea. Lion, seal, rhinoceros, fishes are the examples of aquatic animals because they used to live in the water region.
Aquatic animals may breathe air or extract oxygen from that dissolved in water through specialized organs called gills or directly through the skin. So all the animals, all the human beings and plants, they need oxygen or air to live. Right. Likewise, the aquatic animals will also take the air from the dissolved water, that is the water region they lives. How they will intake the air? With the help of gills or skin that present in their own body. Aquatic animals. The animals which live in water are called aquatic animals. They have fins or shootable limbs which help them to swim. So, yes, some aquatic animals they have limbs or some will have fins. Limbs is nothing but it will be like a small hand like structure. So it helps them to take the food and also it helps them to move. Limbs is nothing but the tortoise and the turtle will have four sides, right? Like hand like structure, right? That is known as limbs. It helps them to swim. Webbed toes of a duck or paddle-like limbs of turtle help them to push water and swim. So you have seen the leg of the duck, right? How it will be? It will be in a webbed shape, right? It won't have cuts between the fingers. It will be in a webbed toes. So that those webbed toes for ducks and the limbs for the turtle will helps to push the water. So duck is also a aquatic animal. It can live on both water and land. So while in water it needs to swim, right? So that's why it have that the toes with a webbed shape. So it helps to push the water backward. Aquatic animals. They breathe through gills and special lungs. As they are living in water all throughout their lifetime, it will have a special lungs and gills also. Fishes, crabs, turtles, snail and screams are aquatic animals. Amphibians. An amphibian is a cold-blooded vertebrate animal that is born in water and breathes with gills. Amphibians are nothing but they born inside the water, but they can able to live on the land. The animal that gives their young ones birth in the water, but when it grows up it can able to live on the land also. So it lives in both water and land region, that is known as amphibians. They used to breathe with their gills because they are taking their own birth in a water region, right? So they can able to breathe with their gills. That's why they are known as cold blooded vertebrates, because they can able to live in both land and water. The larva grows into its adult form. The animal's lungs develop the ability to breathe air, and the animal can live on land. Frogs, toads, and salamanders are all amphibians. Yes, you can see the small tadpole, right? Tadpole is the initial state of the frog. It will take its birth inside the water, but after it becomes a frog it can able to live on the land. Amphibians. The animals which live in water as well as on the land are called amphibians. These animals have limbs that help them to swim in water and move on land. Okay, see this example clearly, that is given in the video. See the crocodile. So when the crocodile is in water, it uses its limbs to move the water backward and pushes its body in a front for swimming. But when it is in land, it's walk with the help of the limbs as shown in the picture clearly. Common example for frogs, toads, salamander crocodiles and newts. Adaptation of foods. Animal food is a collective reference to feeds for bovine regulatory scenario and need for adapting food safety approach. The adaptation fees are in place to help cover these costs and also help provide food for the animals left in the shelter. So the animals like squirrel, rabbit, what they used to do, they will chew the food and keep it aside this region under the mouth. So see this picture clearly, children. It is eating and storing its food under the mouth region. So it will help them to share the food with their young ones who stay in their own place. So it will take the food and go to its young one and then share the food with the young ones. For that, it used to store the foods under its mouth. Animals eat plants and other animals. So animals, they used to eat the flesh of other animals and some they eat plants. See this picture. The first one is eating grasses, but the down two animals, they are eating the flesh of other animals. They can be divided into 4 groups according to the type of food they eat. So some eat plants, some eat the flesh of other animals, and some eat the flesh of other animals as well as the plant. And the fourth type is that eat the flesh or any part of the living organisms, that is the food prepared by other organism. So we are going to see these 4 types in a detailed manner. Herbivorous, plant eating animals. So the herbivorous animals are referred to as plant eating animals because they used to eat grasses and leaves or branches of the trees. Those animals are buffalo, sheep, donkey, camel, pig, orangutan, sloth, koala, giraffe, porcupine, rhinoceros and kangaroo. So these are some of the examples for herbivorous animals because they used to take plants as their food. Carnivorous, flesh-eating animals. So the animals that eat the flesh of other animals is known as carnivorous animals. See this picture. It is eating the flesh of other animals and they are searching for the food. So the example for carnivorous animals are lion, cheetah, jaguar, lynx, wolverine, dolphin, mink, wild dog, Komodo dragon, dowley, snake, alligator snapping, turtle. So these are the animals that take the flesh of other animals as their own food. Next, omnivorous, that is the animals take plant as well as the flesh of other animals as their food. They are known as omnivorous. Human is also referred to as omnivorous because we are taking plants as our food and also the meat, that is flesh of animals as our food. So human also known as omnivorous. In animals, chimpanzee, dog, rat, quail, badger, brown bear, monkey, warthog, coyote, skunk and squirrel. They are referred to as omnivorous animals. Next, parasites. Parasites is nothing but it will take some living organisms, the food prepared by some living organisms as their food. For example, ant. Ant is taking the sugar as their food, or it is the sweet as their food. So sweet is the food material that is prepared by the human being. So it can't creates food or takes food of their own. It will take other living organisms food as their food. Ladybug, dragonfly, grasshopper, ant, mosquito, butterfly, beetle, moth, bee. So yes, bee is taking honey as the food. So honey is where it is getting honey. It is getting honey from the flowers. So parasites are the animals or insects that take other living organisms' food as their own food. Next, herbivorous plant-eating animals. An herbivore is an animal or insect that only eats vegetation such as grasses, fruits, leaves, vegetables, roots and bulbs. Herbivores only eat things that they need photosynthesis to live. This excludes insects, spiders, fish, and other animals. So, the herbivorous animals are known as vegetations because they only eat the fruits, grasses like that. Also, they eat the food that consumes the photosynthesis process. Herbivorous plant-eating animals. Plant-eating animals are called herbivorous. So see this picture, what they are eating. They are eating grasses, plants, fruits and vegetables. Cow, goat, giraffes, etc. Or these are all plant-eating animals. So they are known as herbivorous. They have sharp cutting teeth and strong grinding teeth. So some grasses will be thick in size. So they should have a strong teeth to cut those things. So they have a strong cutting and grinding teeth. Carnivorous flesh-eating animals. A carnivore is an animal or plant that eats the flesh of animals. While some carnivores eat only meat, other carnivores also supplement their diets with vegetation on occasions. So, see this picture clearly. The lion is only taking the meat as its food, but some will take plants as their food, but not every time, only occasionally. Mostly they will eat the flesh of the other animal. That's why carnivore is known as the flesh eating animals. For example, most bears are omnivore, which means they eat both plants and meat. Largely explained, that is, they bear also eat the grasses and vegetables, but not in a much, only in a less amount. Carnivore flesh-eating animals. Flesh-eating animals are called carnivores. Lion, tiger, dog and fox eat the flesh of other animals. They have well-developed tearing teeth. Flesh-eating birds like eagle and vulture have sharp beaks and claws to tear flesh and catch other animals. Yes, so flesh-eating animals are known as carnivorous animals. So some of the examples are lion, tiger, dog, fox, cat. They used to eat the flesh of other animals. So as they are eating the flesh, they should need the sharp tearing teeth, because every animal will have the skin in their body. How that skin will be? It will be very thick and strong to
protect themselves. So the animals that eating the other animal, that is carnivorous animal, they should have a strong tearing teeth. Some birds like vulture and eagle, they will have their sharp beak because they also used to eat the fishes. So they need a sharp beak to tear and take the flesh. Omnivorous animals, plant eating plants and animals. An omnivore is an organism that eats plants and animals. The term stems from the Latin word omnis, meaning all or everything, and ora, meaning to devour or eat. That is, omnivore is a Latin word. In Latin, omni refers to all or everything. That is, they can eat all things and everything. And ora meaning refers to devour or eat. That is, devour or eat means the word or represents the eating. So omnivorous, you can eat everything. See this, panda is eating grasses, also they eat flesh. That's why they are known as omnivorous. Animals that eat both plants and animals are called omnivore animals. Bears, crows, and cockroaches eat both plants and animals. So these are the examples. Bears, crows, and cockroaches, they can eat both also. Man is also an omnivore. As I told you before, we are also eating plants and meat. Parasite. A plant or an animal organism that lives in or on another and takes its nourishment from other organism. Yes, that is the fruit prepared by other animals. They take it their others' food as their own food. They can't prepare food on their own. Such kind of varieties are known as parasite animals. Parasite diseases include infections that are due to protozoa, helminths, or arthropods. So these are the infections that will be present inside the body of animals or human beings. They are eating the cells or the required things from the living organisms. That's why we are taking medicines to kill bacteria and viruses. Some are good but some are dangerous. So we are killing those dangerous bacteria. Parasite. Some plants depend on other living animal for their food. They are called parasites. They live on or inside the bodies of other animals. Like bacteria and viruses, they used to live on other animals. Mosquito is also a parasite because they are taking or sucking the blood of humans and animals. Parasite. Mosquitoes, leeches, bugs, and hookworms, etc., are all parasites. So, these are the examples because they live on the other organism. They have sucker or sucking tube to suck food from their host. Host is nothing but the person or the animal that is being a prey. That is, the mosquitoes used to suck the blood from human body, right? So here the human is known as a host for the mosquito because it is sucking from the human. So it will have a sucker tube which is help them to store the food. Skin of animals. Animal skin is composed of 60 to 65% water, 30 to 32% protein, approximately 10% fat, and 0.5 to 1% of mineral. Skins are soaked initially to clean them and to allow. So, the skin will contain all these in a grouped manner. The work of a skin is to collect them, clean them, and purify them and allowing it to the body. So these are the various types of skins that present in the animals. Each skin is differ from one another. Some will be in rough, some will be in smooth, some will be in lot of hair condition, some will be in less hairy skin. Skin of animals. The skin of animals acts as a protective organ. It protects from dryness and loss of too much water from the body. So what is the work of the skin? It helps us to protect from dryness. The skin won't allow to become dry. So it also prevent us from losing water content from our body. Skin of animals. Camels have a thick and less airy skin without sweet pores.
So there will be some pores for some of the animals skin, but for camel it will be very thick and very less hairy skin. Yes, the animals that lives in the hot or summer region, they will have only very less hair content in their skin. But the animals that living in cool region, that is polar bear and all, they will have mostly they will have the airy skin, because the air protects the cold and keeps those animals warm. The skin prevents the loss of too much water from the body and thus protective from dryness. Yes, it helps the camel to be active, that is it will protect from dryness and it won't lose too much of water. It won't allow too much of water to be lost from its own body. Skin of animals. Some animals like the lizard, snakes and birds have scales and feathers on their skin which protect them from drying. So some will have the scale-like substance in the skin. That is, it will be in a small box structure. If you see the lizard in very zoom or very closer, you can able to see those scale-like feature in the layer of the skin of lizards. Skin of cold region animals. Animals living in extremely cold climatic conditions have to protect themselves from the cold weather. So they have a thick layer of fur over them. Fur is nothing but it will be having a hairy skin layer on the skin, that is known as fur. The layer of fur blocks the cold air and prevents it from reaching the animal's body. They will be protected against cold. So they will be observing the cold air throughout the day. So the body will protect them from those conditions. For that, to fight against that cold, they will have the hairy layered body, that is the fur. Polar bear, yak, Himalayan rabbit have thick fur on their skin and also have a thick layer of fat under their skin. So there will be a skin, above the skin there will be a fur, that is the hairy condition of the skin, and below the skin there will be a thick and rough fat layer, because to prevent and keep the body warm from the cold. The fur traps the air and keeps the body warm. So the airy region itself, it covers all the cold. It only sends the warm condition inside the body. Color protection. Some animals have special color or marking called protective coloration. These markings protect animals from predators or animals that will eat them. So see this animal, what it is doing. Yes, it is changing 8 colors according to the environment it live. So when the animal tries to catch these kind of animals, what they will do? They automatically change their color. For example, if it is the camion where it is sitting on the tree. So while a lion tries to catch, it's an example story to make you understand. Okay, if a lion is coming to catch the camion, what it do? It automatically changes its body color as situated, as suitable for the leaf color, so that the lion gets confused whether it is a animal or leaf, and it left it. So the color changing is helping them to protect themselves for becoming a prey from other. Some animals protect themselves from their enemies by changing the color of their skin into the color of their surroundings. Yes, that's what I have told you before, like a one storyline. So to prevent themselves from other animal, they used to change the color. Common examples are grasshopper, sand lizard, chameleon, and locutus. So grasshopper we have seen in the last slide, that underpart, and the sand lizard is that is like we have seen in the last slide. Last before slide we have seen one animal, bigger animal that changes its color in pink to green, right? That is known as chameleon. And the last one here, that second picture, is locutus. Hibernation. Hibernation is a state or condition of inactivity of a plant or animal spending the winter in a long zone, especially for the purpose of rest. Examples: reptiles and amphibians, bees, etc. So, hibernation is nothing but they used to protect themselves during the winter. That is, they won't come outside in the winter season. They used to take rest in their own shelter. That is known as hibernation. In winter, when the weather is too cold and there is a scarcity of food, some animals go in caves or underground burrows and sleep for a long time. So what they will do now, they will take a long rest inside the caves, or they used to sleep under the holes of the trees. This long sleep is called hibernation. So the sleep that takes during the winter time is known as the hibernation. During this time, they used to store up food, usually fats, in their bodies. The animals that hibernate are frogs, insects, snails, and few reptiles. So what they do? They will take a long sleep, right? They won't go outside. So they need a food. What they do now? They will collect all the food in the summer season itself. So the example for hibernation animals are frogs, insects, snails, and few reptiles. So you can see the frogs only in the rainy season and in the summer season. During the winter season, it won't come outside. Conclusion. We have seen all about animals' food, animals' skin, animals of plant eating, aquatic animals, parasites, hibernation.
Ram, it's really interesting. I have learned a lot today from you. Really? Have you understood, children? Do you have any doubts? Okay, Ram, it's time to go home. Okay, Sparrow, bye. Bye, Ram, and bye, children. See you in the next class. Bye, children. Keep revising the animal habitats and adaptation. Thank you, children. I hope you have understood about the today's topic clearly. Keep on revising it. Take care and be safe at home. Bye, children.